This is a Last Word exclusive.
But look at the difference between last year and this year. Extraordinary drought across the West, the worst we have ever seen.
Now, 7 News on your side amid increasing reports of birds, hundreds of them, found blind, dead, or dying right here in the DMV. And we want to warn you that some of these images are difficult to see.
Yeah, this is a rough one. So what do you do, though, if you find one of these birds near your home? Here's 7 News' Heather Graff now with advice from wildlife experts and the search for answers about why this is happening.
According to a report in the Washington Post, an unusual number of blind birds have been found dead or dying around Washington, D.C. lately, and wildlife experts say they have no idea why.
The calls keep coming here at the Animal Welfare League of Arlington.
Animal Welfare League of Arlington, how can I help you?
Calls from concerned homeowners and neighbors about birds that appear to be blind, their eyes so swollen and crusty with discharge, they're unable to fly.
It's really ramped up in the last couple of weeks.
So far, the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources says it's gotten more than 300 reports of dead or dying birds in the Commonwealth, but it's happening in Maryland and the district as well. A 7 News viewer took this video in Rockville, and experts say they're seeing it most often in grackles or blue jays, like you see here.
It's mostly concerning because we don't know what it is.
As one expert at the Wildlife Resources Department put it, the volume of reports and clinical signs are not suggestive of something they've seen routinely in the area, so they might be dealing with an emerging or novel issue.
Megan Kirschgessner is Virginia's state wildlife veterinarian and says a long list of agencies throughout the region are working to solve this mystery and to educate the public in the meantime.
If there are dead birds in the yard and they need to be picked up, please wear gloves.
And experts say these sick birds are also showing neurological signs. So just a bizarre situation. And as you heard, so far, no explanation on the cause of all of this. Experts are asking people to report to their local wildlife agency anytime you see one of these sick or dying birds.
Hey guys, yeah, so perhaps you've heard about birds dying or seeming to struggle, either in your neighborhood group chat or unfortunately maybe you came across a dead bird yourself. And so now the question is are the cicadas the cause?
It's not impossible that it's not cicada related, but it's not overly likely.
He says the birds appear to have neurological issues or vision problems. One Northside resident tells me they found 4 dead birds in their backyard within 2 weeks.
Really, the only way that it could be like a cicada related issue is if it were pesticides or some sort of weird bacterial infection. But interestingly, lots of things, animals are eating cicadas right now.
Animals like squirrels and your pets are getting in on the feeding frenzy, yet there are no reports of them being affected like the birds, a key point when tracking down the source of this problem.
Something has changed in their environment that's affecting them. Whether it's a man-made cause, whether it's just a breakout.
He says younger blue jays and grackles are the primary birds affected.
It is hard to speculate long-term, effects of this because we don't know how many individual animals will be affected, how many won't.
Large parts of the northern hemisphere have seen a partial solar eclipse today. The moon traveled directly in front of the sun in what's called an annular eclipse.
A rare solar eclipse that astronomers call a ring of fire took a bite out of the sun for more than an hour.
Because the moon's so far away from Earth, it didn't block out the whole sun, creating a ring of fire.
It's been a long time since we've seen this.
Oh, yeah, Anthony, the Northeast, you've got to go back to 1959. That's before I was born. The next one, not until 2079. So this was my opportunity, my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see it. It did not disappoint.
An eclipse at sunrise in the United States. One of nature's most dazzling sights, the moon gliding in front of the sun, taking a bite from the shining disk. And this was the view from Canada, where the northernmost parts of the world were treated to a full spectacle.
As it was rising, I mean, it was something to see, and you had all kinds of iconic pictures around the Northeast. The sun rose over that iconic New York City skyline. Great shots from the Jersey Shore as well.
But today's event has delighted many around the world with a display of a true celestial wonder.
Crippling drought across multiple states. The alarming images tonight of Lake Mead at the Hoover Dam. It's part of the Colorado River system, the water supply for 40 million Americans.
Well, by tomorrow, Lake Mead is expected to drop to its lowest level in history. Some 40 million people, including all of us right here in Clark County, rely on the reservoir for water. And as ABC's Matt Gutman explains, you may start noticing the effects of the water shortage very soon.
Tonight, the images of this mega drought are writ across the Southwest's landscape. Bathtub rings around reservoirs show where the water once was. Boat marinas and fields bone dry.
This part of the Colorado River system is a crucial water supply for Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Southern California. It makes the vast agricultural land of the desert Southwest possible.
This landscape screams problems to me. I mean, just look at the bathtub rings. To me, that is an enormous wake-up call.
Much of the water the dam is supposed to be holding back is gone.
This is like a different world.
A dangerous heat wave from the northern plains to New England is breaking records while the south faces a severe weather threat. Meanwhile, red flag fire warnings have been posted in several western states where a historic drought is threatening a catastrophic fire season.
Nearly 300,000 miles of the Southwest are in exceptional drought, an area bigger than the state of Texas.
The before and after pictures at Lake Orville from 2016 to now are striking.
Anywhere you look, weather nationwide is at extreme conditions. You've got the drought dominating the West Coast and relentless rains saturating the eastern seaboard.
In neighboring Utah, the dry conditions prompted the governor to call for a weekend of prayer.
We need more rain, and we need it now. We need some divine intervention.
The heat and humidity also produced scattered severe thunderstorms from Alabama to Texas, where a woman's body was recovered after floodwaters swept her car off the road. More than 100 homes were flooded outside of Houston.
As the West Coast thirsts for rain, with lakes dipping to their lowest level in decades, people on the East Coast are getting hit with blinding downpours. This video from North Carolina showing what drivers faced on Interstate 95, south of Raleigh, as severe storms moved through the area.
California's drought isn't just posing wildfire danger, it is also threatening a species of salmon.
Because the state experienced one of the driest years on record, waterways that would normally carry young salmon out to sea are now hotbeds of dirt and dust.
I'm standing currently 40 feet underwater, or should be standing 40 feet underwater.
Governor Gavin Newsom declared a drought emergency from a cracked lake bed in April.
The hots are getting hotter, the dries are getting drier.
Iconic Chinook salmon need cold, running water to survive. They hatch in rivers, then migrate to the sea to mature. After a couple years, they swim back to where life began, to reproduce or spawn. But this year, studies show fish born in the wild will likely die.
Just a quick look. One story has caught my eye. This is in the Telegraph, and there's a new telescope that has detected hundreds of mysterious radio bursts from space, prompting a string of theories about where they're coming from. So, fast radio bursts, very short, very intense pulses of radio waves, first discovered in 2007. But there's been a whole load of them found recently. The Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, known as CHIME.
That is easier.
They've been using a radio telescope in British Columbia. 535 new FRBs, these pulses, in a 12-month period, 2018-2019. Is someone sending us a message from out there?
Have they established whether or not that is the case?
No.
Oh.
No, they haven't.
How do they know if it's not just a glitch in the machinery?
Well, they say it's more than that, but something is happening out there. Something happening out there. Just by way of information, a lot of people interested in UFOs. Apparently, I wasn't aware of this. Very shortly, the government is about to release, which they do
Yes,
periodically,
yes, yes, yes.
their UFO investigations,
Yeah.
which sort of remain
It's the US
behind closed
government,
doors.
isn't it?
That's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows?